After 4 years of service, some of the pedals quit working, so I tried to fix it before and I posted video. However, we still have problem with this one here. It doesn't work, works a little bit. The next one is fine. And we have few here. I marked them with the masking tape. So this is silent, this one's silent, this is silent, this is okay, this is okay. And we have a couple more. This one is bad, and the last one here. It works, but it's not reliable. After about 1 year of waiting, I finally got the shipment of the retrofit kit for the Viscount Pedalboard, and these are the reed switches. And I got a set of magnets, 28 in the black plastic casing and 4 in the brass metal casings. I also got a bunch of screws and star washers. And what I'm going to do is show the strength of the magnet that seem to be pretty strong. I'm going to lift as many as possible of the 1/4-inch nuts to demonstrate the strength of it. For the lack of a better method, I was able to lift 7 of the nuts, the 1/4-inch nuts with the plastic cased magnet. The brass encased magnets are also able to lift only 7. This is about to demonstrate the strength of them. They seem to be pretty strong for their size. Now I'm going to take a quick look at the board, and now the reed switches, I will zoom in to show you the model number. The model number is 8-D, and you can look up on websites such as DigiKey for this part number or model number and find that these are about less than $2 each. They can be bought. They are just simple, normally open reed switches that are being activated with magnet. And I will link in the description the vendor's website if you wish to replace one or make the entire board by yourself. I think it's doable. I think you could do it, provided that you get the right magnets and attach them in a way that would not trigger. The way they have to work is trigger this single dedicated reed switch and not affect the ones beside this. So we'll see, but this is the factory retrofit kit, so it should work as described, as intended, and these are the plastic ones. So I'm going to open up the pedal board and see how this can be quickly installed. And I'm going to use one of the little magnets to lift up the pins. There's one pin on one side to be removed, and there is a pin at the other end also. So I'm going to remove them and then slide the board out, watching for the cable right in the center. There is a little cable to disconnect. Now the pedal board has been slightly moved away from the organ, and there is this little plug. I marked it up the last time so I don't get the direction wrong. And I'm going to disconnect it and move the pedal board away from the organ. Now this part of the board is attached with 7 screws, 3 at the top, 4 at the bottom. This is Phillips number 2. I would recommend using just a hand screwdriver, no electric tools, because everything is in wood, so you don't want to strip the threads. And then, after the screws are removed, you have to very gently tip this part away, gently, because there's a cable attached to this socket. Now once the 7 screws are removed, you can flip it gently backwards, just like that. And be mindful of that cable. You don't want to damage anything or rip it off. And the 2 plugs that we need to unplug are on the right and the left hand side, and they hopefully will match the same sockets in the new replacement boards. And very unfortunately, Very unfortunately, I was sent the wrong part number. So this is the new board with the reed switches, and you can tell right off the bat, right away, that this is much longer. It's got the same number of switches, but it's for different larger pedal board. And the same applies to the right hand side. When you compare the length, you can see that this is about 2 inches longer, so it won't fit. Unfortunately, I have to send it back and request for the proper replacement boards. Well, so I have to put it all back together and wait for the new parts to arrive. Looks great, but unfortunately this is not what we need. I have marked the failed switches with pieces of masking tape. They correspond to the pedal that didn't work all across, and I'm going to remove just the board. And this is Phillips number 1 screws. Just the board without the backing plate. The steel backing is going to stay in place. I removed 10 screws, Phillips number 1. And this is just from the board, so the board is loose. And I actually found the culprit. You see, the reason why this didn't work is that the tube cracked in half, and you can see it doesn't press properly. So the rubber tube could be replaced, but in this case I'm going to just put a magnet instead. These are the tiny reed switches right here, miniature, so they should probably fit nicely in the place in the through holes from the old switch, from the one that doesn't work, and I'm going to replace it right now. The switch is removed. I just use a simple solder sucker like this with a little piece of silicone tube at the end. It actually helps to do the job very well, and it's all clean, but as you can see, the traces are, this is between the bottom and the top, so the switch has to go between one of these and one of the top holes. I soldered the reed switch, and you can tell that I left a little over 1/4 inch length on the pins, and the reason is that I want to have some wiggle room, so if I need to move it relative to the magnet for this switch to work, that I have this flexibility. So if you do that, I would recommend, I can put it completely flat on the board, or I can adjust it in a way that will work with the magnet that I'm going to install. But this is the way to do it, and I'm going to give it a test. And to be able to test when the switch is turned on and off, I will solder a couple of wires just for test, so I can connect it to a meter, to a fluke, and then I will know when the contacts close and open. So I'm going to use this just to solder a couple of pieces of wire so I can run it to the meter and have full control when I adjust it the first time. Okay, the first switch, reed switch, is ready to put to the test, and I have a couple of wires soldered. And when it's successful and I set up the magnet, I don't even have to unsolder. I'm going to just cut these off, and they'll be just fine. So I'm going to put it back to the pedal board and give it a run, attach a magnet, and see if it works. I'm using zip tie bases like these from Amazon. I will post a link in the description below, and this is the way. And these are toy magnets. These are called Magnetix. These are toy magnets, and it works perfect. I actually put one, replace the steel support, and when I press the pedal, it works just as intended. It works every time. So what I'm going to do now, because this is still flimsy, I'm going to put a drop of hot glue over the magnet, and that way it will be It will be permanent. It will not shift or move sideways. I pour some hot glue over the magnet here, and it works perfect. It doesn't touch the reed switch when pressed, but it works like a charm. So I'm going to leave this one alone, and I work on the other side, which has 5 bed pedals. So this one has a whole bunch to replace. I'm replacing the supports for the magnets with these zip tie brackets, things like that, and these are being removed. And I put the screw just in case. I put it right back, the top screw. It can be thrown away, but you never know when they can come handy. So I replaced the original metal pushers, the levers, with these zip tie supports from Amazon, and the size is perfect. So I'm going to replace the 5 of them, and probably in the future the rest of them. But for now, that's what it is. Now the toy magnets, the Magnetix magnets, have been affixed, and what I'm going to do is test it. I connected the continuity tester on my flug right here, and now when I press it, here you go. And this is actually perfect. And of course it doesn't touch the switch. And right now what I'm going to do is use hot glue to place it semi-permanently so it doesn't move, the magnet stays in place. Okay, I'm going to go to the rest of them and at the end use hot glue and put it all together. These are the finishing touches, and I put some hot glue so the magnets don't move sideways or up or down. It doesn't look good. If somebody's good with glue gun, you may do a better job, but this is perfectly secure. I also put a drop of hot glue on the reed switches because I have a feeling that I'm going to open it up again to fix the rest of them, and I did not want to have to play again with the reed switches, which are already set and working, so the hot glue will keep them in place. Well, time to put it all back together and give it a test. This is the final test, and all of them work. These were the ones with the blue masking tape. They were not working. Now all of them work well. And we had a few dead ones on this side, especially these 3. So these are good, and there was one on this side, and the last one here. So we have all of them working. I have a feeling that the other ones that haven't been replaced are gonna fail. So if that happens, I'm going to get all the reed switches for all of them and put the magnets. And I think even though it doesn't work like a professional factory made, I think this is pretty permanent, much better than the original. Give it thumbs up if you like it. Thank you for watching.